all veteran players, but same thing for Polaris. And this little Rambulan of ours, Polaris, kind of hitting back well. So we will get into that game number 3 now. So what are things to watch out for? Like, what early timings are important for T1? Because in my eyes, I only really see Carl setting their tempo early game.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, right? It's Polaris has a lot more to work with, though. Like, even the Golem comes out, when Warlock has 6, that's a big team fight. When Void Spirit basically hits 6, he's also going to be able to go in and out of fights. Exorcism means that you can start taking towers. There's like a blink dagger on time. What's going on, man?
I mean, it's a Rambulan, you know, the two Filipino teams, mostly Filipino teams fighting up against each other here. And White Pawn getting called out by Lelouch for some reason. Cuckoo does break the smoke, but they still find Raging Potato with a chain stuns, avalanche, and the little Chaos Bolt. Raging does have the rebound out. It's going to be fine, but the rundown still there on Polaris. Still looking for someone. T1 does back off in the nick of time. So no first blood bonus for Polaris, but yeah, it's funny because Cuckoo was just all chatting the Noi Noi voice line of Polaris, because I guess he doesn't have it, so he's trying to join in on the fun there, just typing it manually, you know?
So what does it mean, Noi Noi?
Noi is like, you're calling for a person, you're calling for a guy you see. Noi Noi, and the rest of the lines, Ayo Noi ba, Ayo, it's like, stop it, stop it.
Well, we'll see which team was able to which team is going to want to win, who's going to win this, which team wants it to stop at some point. For now, it looks like Polaris starting off with 3 of those bounty ruins. Not what you want to see on T1, especially when you have the Razor who needs farm and say through the Morphlink. Oh, White Mon, what the hell is he doing here?
Yeah, he's really far back there, White Mon.
You're on the other team, White Mon. Come on, man.
That was an interesting pattern. There you go. The Noi Noi, Ayo Noi ba, Ayo is right there. So don't beat him up. Does get taken down anyway. Early first blood to break the pace here. See how the lanes develop. But that was a little bit awkward. T1 just giving it away.
I don't know. Did White Mon be like, hey guys, is this, are we still on the dire side? Like, no, we're not. We're on the other team now. But a very interesting first blood to give away, and I think, at least go to Xavius, not Lelouch, but still, like, terrible for time to give away first blood.
Yeah, that was not ideal. White Mon again, kind of getting caught out, and the damage shot from Xavius is pretty big. Avalanche shot as well, force keeping chase, and yeah, White Mon can't quite run, forced to Fairy Fire, dead again? Dead again, what?
By the way, this might be something that a lot of people may not know, but Viper's actually, I believe, the slowest hero in the game, 275 movement speed. I think maybe Broodmother is slower at like 270. But anyway, he's one of the slowest heroes. And Xavier starts off with boots. He's got, thanks to that first, but now he's got tranquil boots. So he's at almost 100 movement speed faster. Easy for him to land those right clicks. White Mon, walk of shame right now. How sad is this? A Viper walking to the lane.
Yeah, it's a very sad sight. Already a slow start for Polaris down bot. And I suppose this is just going to be a bit rough for Gav to deal with. One-on-one against the DT seems fine. Already early rotations out from Xavius. Snipes away the water rune away from Carl. So no bottle refill for him as well. Mid matchup for Lelouch and Carl. We have seen Void Spirit versus Puck, and it does rely on Void Spirit landing those 8 remnants every time and getting some damage off. Do you see any other openings here? Do you think Carl should be the shining hope for T1 to kind of take control here?
Yeah, because that it's an insane series of events that have led to them basically dominating the bottom lane. Thanks to Xavier getting that first blood. Now, Gabby's not suffering. He'll be fine in general, but Carl's gonna have to make some moves later on. Gabby?
Oh, Gabby just going a little bit forward there. Does have level 2 morph or attribute shift, so it's not going to be too much trouble here. Still have time to look at the other lanes. Taking a look up top, Natsumi and AU on the CK Warlock lane up against Cuckoo and Raging on the Razor and Marcy. So far, looking fairly decent for Cuckoo and Natsumi. They're not being held back from farming up here. Do you expect either side to look for aggression in this lane? I mean, you've got the Dispo static link, I suppose.
I think it would be definitely on T1 if they want to go for aggression. It's a bit hard because Natsumi's tanky and you have an AU has a heal, so it's not going to be the easiest skill, but one of the team is going to Like, because I have to, gun to my head, pick one. I'd say that the Razor and the Mars are definitely a little bit more aggressive than basically any lane with the Warlock. Maybe if he maxes Upheaval. What do you think, John? Is that?
Oh, I like the spice there, Otto. I would not advise anyone to max Upheaval first, but that could be one way to catch Cuckoo out with a stuns. The rebound speed is quite high and can't do damage when you're tossed back. There's the dispose as well. Lots of damage out from Cuckoo. Natsumi dropping low. Might be able to get the last right click, and they do. Cuckoo finds the first kill for T1 as AU starting to drop low here. Might be able to run off. Not a rebound there. No dispose, but the stick charges are on hand. The heal's there, but Cuckoo gets a double. So there you go for T1. At least the offlane's shaping up here.
Yep, and that's how I thought it would happen. Like, it's tanky on Polaris, but the sort of all the damage is on T1. And well, Cuckoo, he's just gonna take his damage back. Natsumi, what are you doing, bro?
Yeah, runs right up, plasma field out, one more right click. Cuckoo on a spree already. 4.5 minutes in with the tips out to Natsumi. And T1, we talked about Cuckoo having a pretty terrible Razor game last time, shaping up to be a better one in this game.
Dude, and look at the CS. Natsumi's 13th CS only. Another thing is that Force on the top. I'm really surprised they kind of went with this pick again, because game one it wasn't amazing. Like, Xavier's having a fantastic match, but Death Prophet on Force did not look convincing in the first game.
Yeah, it really didn't. He is also, again, as you pointed out, not farming too well. Feels pretty free for Gabby, despite those deaths out from White Munsell. Getting the pulse, getting his presence up. Xavier hasn't been able to find the angles any further on that Tiny. So despite that wonky start, you got Boots and Whitemon. Does get avalanched up, tossed back onto Force with a Spirit Siphon. Will just TP his way away. So, is back home, but he'll have to walk back, and he's still only 320 move speed, so it's going to be a slow process in.
It's not as bad as when he was 275 mid lane. They're gonna fill up Carl's. He close. He's almost level 6 though. And Lush will have to be a little bit careful now.
Yeah. Dream Coil ready. They've got the angle in the backline with Xavier's here as well, dropping some good wards. So both sides have some good vision to spot out each other's movements. And Alush can fall prey to this. Rebound out. Dispose is ready. Does not break the link. Alush still alive for now. Do they have enough damage? Whitemon's around. Avalanche to break off. And a good remnant to save. Alush gonna live. He lives.
Despite not having to simulate, that magic, infused raindrop doing work just now. But Carl's happy. He forces him out, gets the bounty ruin, and now T1 securely in the lead.
Yep, they managed to hammer it back their way. Carl now on the move. No Dream Coil, but looking for a play up top with Cuckoo, who has had that phenomenal start. Natsumi pushed all the way back in the tree line. They're scouting for him. This man should juke away. Carl is still checking. They're cutting some trees for Natsumi to escape. Should be fine. But the push is underway with a siege creep. Polaris gonna need to drag some more bots and drag Lelouch in. Can they find the angle? They spot out Cuckoo, immediately blown away with Natsumi at the side. Carl, and showing up without the Dream Coil, can't get the control they need.
Oh, Carl, nice AU. He knows where he's going, but I don't know if he has enough damage to really threaten the puck here.
Not quite. They do manage to run out with a rebound. And Polaris finding some punches back and getting some good punishment of her own. Still looking like a strong start for T1. Less than 1k lead their way with a rather even game. And Gabby is managing to get that build-up he wants on the Morph. Morbid Mask already up, a little bit of Life Steal to help with the farm. And just, not being contested by Force. Like, he's at level 6, he has Exo, he's not able to turn around anywhere. Smoke out from T1 with 2 supports here.
They're going straight for the Death Prophet, but she just moves back. Actually gets a couple of ping from her allies, being like, yo, go back. There's a nice ward here. I'm not sure if they smoked underneath it, but either way, Force, Spider Sense tingling. He's also getting very close to that Vitality booster. So once he has a Spirit Vessel, it makes it quite difficult for Gabby to do anything. He's gonna go for a straight up Panther, so it won't be too much of a challenge for too long, though.
Shouldn't be. A bit of a clump up from Polaris top again. Trying to play forward with Natsumi. Doesn't quite commit onto it. No, will commit onto Cuckoo now. Gets the stun, not the longest duration. Cuckoo immediately turns around. They've got the toss away from the link. It's not the most presence out from Cuckoo. AU just gonna TP home. Damage not quite enough to kill him off. No stuns coming out from T1 with Viper support. So,
yep.
Just gonna back away. Still 3-3. With all the movement across the map, do you worry that for Polaris that T1, again, Gabby's just left unchecked here?
Yeah, Theon's getting exactly what they want. Like, I was worried that this game would, with the draft that's happened, it's a little greedy, Razor off lane, Morph lane care, but no, they're getting exactly what they want. All their cores are the top net worth. So they are saying it's on Polaris to do something, They gotta fix the situation, take out one of these cores so they get some breathing room. Because the way the game is going right now, it's all in on T1. Like, this 2K net worth lead means a lot more for them. With the win percentage, it's 6. Wait, is it really 60% for Polaris to win this? That seems kind of crazy. That win graph.
Yeah, it's a bit strange, that one, but you know what? The AI overlords aren't frequently wrong. So maybe just favoring that early momentum Polaris still can bring out. I mean, they still have Exorcism they haven't played with here. Polaris going for their own smoke play once more with the Lucian AU. Have the 2 charges to step up. Just need to gap close onto Gabby and get the chain control off. But it's Raging who makes the first move. Disposed back onto Force. The damage is great, but look at the burst!
Gabby!
He's just gone. The fatal bonds and creep wave with the damage from Lelouch is enough, and Raging TPing away not enough. They get the clean kills. We talked about fatal bonds combos. The Void Spirit with the resonant pots, he just melts him along with a step.
He was full agi. I mean, look at it. He's got 520 health. He has got infused range up, but it doesn't matter. And oh no, that is kind of a disaster. Well, it's fine. I mean, it's just gonna be a tower. Gabby a little too aggressive. They do lots to me the same side. So overall, T1 not too bad. Not too bad. But Gabby dying like that, just a little bit too over-aggressive, going all in on Agi.
Yeah, they went aggressive first. They jumped onto Force thinking they could burst him down quick enough.
White Mon?
Just managed to hold up. White Mon is TPing in for the defense here.
He revealed himself as well with another toxic. Other people are coming though.
They're slowly TPing down. They managed to get them Carl with a DD. Should be enough to kill off Force with a silence. This post out as well. Lelouch does manage to hold back, and Force is trying to heal it. It's just not quite enough. So Xavius gets a good avalanche off. Natsumi shows up with his damage. With a Phantasm, does manage to get 1 kill, but the Link is on him. Golem drop to cut this off. Natsumi still dropping low, is taken away. But can Lelouch clean up? Finds one more. Raging does fall.
Just the supports falling so from
far.
T1.
Not the big kills they want. And they did commit Golem for that back off as well. Cuckoo not done. Wants AU. Does get clipped by the Remnant. Lelouch still looking to play here. Cuckoo dropping low. He doesn't even find AU. AU's still running. Carl not gonna go for the orb, so they kind of even it out.
Yeah, a little bit like Polaris with that last good Aether Remnant, by the way, catching the Cuckoo.
Carl finds Lelouch, silences off, but not gonna tempt fate. Does not have mana on Carl, so doesn't get that opportunity to punish Lelouch. Yeah, just so back and forth. And Polaris this time around, maybe overstepping their bounds a bit. They will manage to get that bot tier 1 to trade.
And by the way, Chaos Knight, he was thinking of going for the armlet. He's going to go for the Midas instead. So kind of, like the Doom from Gabby in Game 2, where the carries like, I'm just going to farm. He might need it, though. He is 1-4-1 on Natsumi on the Chaos Knight. Level 7 in 12 minutes. This is not what you want your carry to be at all. This is where you want him to be, 8 minutes, 7 minutes. He is very far behind.
Yeah, A just gets picked away with a Viper's Strike. Lelouch not in time to help, although might find Raging. Good Remnant out from Lelouch. Avalanche toss for the Tumbler's Toy as well. They find another Carl, trying to hold him back, but here comes Force to cut off Whitemon. With a Spirit Vessel up, Whitemon not going to have too much life left here. Lelouch will have the step up and running immediately in. Onto Cuckoo next. And getting a lot of value from that Spirit Vessel, but not quite enough damage this time around. They cut their losses 2 for 1 again, trading off AU earlier on, but they're not done. Xavius keeps that chase, finds Cuckoo, tosses back. Cuckoo trying to link his way away, but not going to be enough to save, and they get the kill. Carl pretty low on mana, does have a coil. The silence is there. It's not even going to be able to find punishment onto Xavius.
They don't even have, they just dropped a ward right now. They want to take over this Radiant Jungle Force. He's here, he's with the Exorcism. Aging Potato. I think he spotted him for a second, but they decided not to go for it. So this is good. They are closing up the map a little bit, and Cuckoo's starting to fall behind now. Not by much. He's still keeping up with Natsumi, but this is a good thing for them. They can just get a couple more kills on Cuckoo. delay his BKB, turn him into a bit of a non-factor right now, because he's had a solid game before this, like right until that couple of deaths.
Whitemon gets caught out, silenced up as well. Xavius does have the toss if need be.
Not again, Whitemon.
Trying to run away. Viper Strike does not work, and he is just taken out once more. He does get some wards down. That should be spotted out by Polaris, but they don't quite have the D wards on hand with Xavius. They have some information to play with. It's better Whitemon than Gabby, right?
For sure. Xavius is getting close to that blink dagger though, so that's something to worry about because we've seen these blink tinies. Just send someone back, you get a pick off. Need to be a bit careful. It's still about 500 gold for it, but there you go, pushing mid.
Pop the Exo out. Defense coming out from T1. They are in position. Carl still has a Dream Coil. Cuckoo is around the area as well with a haste, but it's spotted out by the illusions of Lelouch. So, non-committal push out from Polaris, just standing back with the DP, letting the X to do its work. And T1 not pushing the envelope too hard either. They are inching closer towards that blink here on Polaris with Xavius. The tiny blink almost online in that pause 4, but it does feel like they don't want to just put Lelouch in firing line. So they need that backup in the tiny.
Yeah, plus he's like what's he got? He's only got Spirit Vessel, and that's it. There's not really defensive item. One Infused Raindrop with, Null, Soul Ring. He doesn't have items that will just be enough to sustain him. So you can't just throw Force up there. So they are trying to be careful. Plus they just want to give Natsumi time to farm. He is catching up. Third in terms of net worth. His Midas is paying off, but he still needs a little bit more time.
Yeah,
and can't afford the map to get to get smaller before that.
Yeah, just getting what he can while he can. Getting that build up. Has 1,000 gold in bank. And Polaris now just playing patiently. Blink almost up in Xavius. Well, after a creep, he should have that gold up and running. And that should be the moment where Polaris might try to kick it into gear once more. Lelouch going for his own Yules to save from the control. And Force probably going for his BKB. It is finishing up the wand first. So still no defensive items for that frontline DP as you mentioned here. And with its slower pace of game, it does feel like you start to think about the morphling towards the late game, right? Like, initially laning isn't great for Gabby, but it is still a morphling towards the late game. It can still be big.
I mean, it can, but there's a reason we haven't been seeing a lot of morphling competitive play because the hero is just not incredible. I don't think that, I don't think he outscales a Chaos Knight. So I don't think that the Polaris have to be worried about that. Although mid lane...
Oh, jump forward, Dispos out onto Xavius as he blinks in. Didn't manage to get the avalanche before that as he is going to lose Force, but to get the stun on Raging. Maybe they find at least that support in Marcy. Lelouch doesn't have an additional jump. Remnant does connect. One more right click to do the job. Meanwhile, Carl cleans up on the sides. Going on to AU now. Lelouch trying to get some hits off. AU still being chased down. Still has the Golem. Doesn't get picked off, but does lose his courier. So 2 for 1 in the favor of T1. Unfortunate for Xavius. That was his blink reveal into the Dispos.
Yeah, it's like, oh, dude, just walked into it. Very unfortunate for him. And like I said, this was sort of going to be a big reveal. You're hoping to catch some core, toss them back, but it's fine. It's not the biggest issue here. The tower still stays alive. So even though T1, well, they got us a little bit of golden experience injection, not exactly an objectives on the map. So it's fine. It's not too big of an issue. Natsumi, I think he's going to go for the Echo Saber here. So wait, is it coming? Yeah, it is going to be the Echo Saber. Doesn't really, again, he just wants to keep farming. I wonder if he'll disassemble that to make the BKB, or if he's just going to be like, no, I'll keep this for a while longer.
Yeah, just again building up, being allowed to get what he wants. He is still behind Gabby, about 1,000 gold behind. The Morphling now just starting to flex its farming muscles with how much space Gabby's been given after that awkward lane. Going into the BKB next for him. For Polaris, they are smoked up with the 2 supports, but they're not linked up with any force. So it's just a warding run for Xavius, it looks like.
Need to be a little bit careful here. The BKBs are going to come out on the Razor soon. Gabby already has the Manta, which means that this Spirit Vessel that Force spent about like 3,000 gold to get, it's going to lose a lot of effectiveness very soon.
Yeah. And that's what they've been banking on, right? To soften up these targets, to make it easier to manage Gabby when you do spot him out. Not going to be as effective any longer. They do turn Gabby into the CK, just play tag with illusions. Not really jumping on Natsumi himself. They are kind of preventing that flash farm with illusions at the very least a little bit longer. And Again, Polaris just keeping this game pace slower. They want Natsumi to build up. They are risking it with a Morphling being allowed to build up as much as he has right now. What timings might we be looking for from Polaris? Because they've got that Blink and Xavius after that reveal mid. They haven't been playing with it too much.
Yeah, this is kind of surprising, but it seems like they're just going to wait for their BKBs. Force is building one. If Chaos Knight, sorry, Natsumi is building one. Lelouch is going for the Aghanim Scepter. That's a bit of a ways off. So we'll see what they're going to go with. But a couple of BKBs will help them out a lot. If you look at T1, they don't really have anything that goes through BKB. Stack, Link, yes. And as well as like the Eye of the Storm. But that's like physical damage. It's not really something that anything can stop. So BKB on Natsumi, BKB on Force could be a big deal for them.
Carl finds Xavius. Immediate Dream Coil out. Snap is there with the Avalanche. Xavius might be able to run his way off. They do spot out Gabby. He does Strength Morph in time. So he's a lot harder to kill off right now. They have the Golem drop, perfectly chain stunned. They actually kill him off. The damage from Natsumi, the crits from the Phantasm is enough to carry them through. So they find the big one.
Dude, Lelouch was able to get Aether Remnant while 3 creeps were standing there. Like, that's amazing. That was just, what a play. I love how he could do that. I don't know how he even managed it. You gotta go watch the replay. And really good timing from AU, saving that Golem just to make sure it was done.
Avalanche toss out onto Cuckoo into the Remnant as well. The timing's perfect. Pops the BKB and dies. Fresh BKB not doing much as the Exos pop. Trying to get more. Carl does clean up on Xavius eventually. But with Cuckoo dying again, they don't mind. So Polaris just finding the angles, just kicking it into gear and punishes T1.
Man, Cuckoo. Dying is fine, but that's your best BKB. You know, it doesn't get better than that. That's a 9-second BKB. That's the first BKB you're gonna get, and he just used it literally a millisecond before he was about to die. Ouch. I don't know which one's worse, that or Gabby dying, but either way, they're gonna go for Roshan here. This is pretty sneaky from T1. I like it.
And they smoke up, they go into the pit. Sidekick on the Morphling is a lot of damage, and he does have the life steal from the Morbid, so not gonna be too hard for him to do that. There is a fight breaking out by the Rune, but there's a puck, very hard to pin down for Polaris, and the blink is out from Carl, so he's stalling out well. They're so focused in there that they don't bump in, but Natsumi's checking with illusions, does find that out, and they might find Raging further trouble. The stun is there, they get a kill, and now they get the opportunity for Roshan. Meanwhile, Polaris still chasing across the map. They manage to catch out Cuckoo. Link is there to hold back Lelouch, and Gabby is ready to play with his own remnants. Does actually clip Lelouch somehow. Not enough to really net the kills. And eventually Polaris, they might find this rush. Dreamcoil is still down. That's a big one for Polaris to sneak away themselves.
I cannot give enough praise to Lelouch with the Aether Remnant, because that killed Gabby, which led to them going mid to kill Cuckoo, which allowed them to, like, later on sort of slow down T1, where they were like, all right, let's go for the Roshan, which was a little bit risky. Polaris sniff it out, get the kill. Like, it all comes down to an amazing play by Lelouch. That moment is I always look at the games and there's like the certain moments where you're like, okay, this game turns on its head. That was a very game-turning moment by Lelouch. Sorry, Lelouch.
They just managed to find that opening. They forced T1 to make these plays, and they still have the foresight to check the pit while they were split up and get the punishment. Now you've got the BKB on Natsumi with the Echo Saber disassembly. Going for that blink next. Carl Sting hanging around the area, is still fairly mobile on the puck. He's going to be able to run off the Remnant. The instant blink out from Carl. Lelouch not going to nail it this time. They've got the opportunity for the push in. You know, we were talking about the sustain game in that drafting phase here, Automa. They've got the shard up on AU. So all the heals in the world to come out here now.
I was going to say, I was like, oh, there's the shard. And looks like maybe going for a Glimmer Cape right after, just so that all that magic damage from T1 won't bother them. Could go for a Holy Lock as well. You get so much shield.
Raging with the Invis does manage to break the smoke rotation out. Sentry is just a bit too late. Raging still hanging around the area, still outside vision. He is actually using that Invis well, giving so much key information towards T1, but he does walk into the range now. The stun is coming through. Avalanche as well. Natsumi grabs another. Cuckoo coming in though. Does have the static link, but is forced to BKB and tried to keep chase. Is still being tickled by the illusions, but it's enough to shove them out for now.
I am absolutely in love with this game.
Blink, stun out from Xavius, toss back as well. Whitemon That pause 5 Viper, you talked about it scaling here, Otmo. It certainly feels like it's kind of run its course.
Yep, he's 0-7. He has officially, he's turned into Viper. He was doing well and he Vipered it up, basically. The support Viper. And at this point, I don't know, maybe it's Morbin time. Gabby's got to do something. He's got the Morbin mask. He's morphling. It's time for him to Morbin and do some stuff because it's a very tough situation. He's not far from the BKB, but he's up against a Natsumi with an Aegis. He's ahead in terms of net worth. Morphling, he could sort of run around and maybe make a little bit of space, but you can't TP as long as Aegis are around. It just drops a Golem on you. He doesn't mind.
Yeah, they've been really disciplined on Polaris to hold onto that Golem for key moments. T1 though, going for a smoke play now of their own. Looking for an angle in, maybe just retake control of their triangle. No forward wards placed by Polaris, just a whole bunch of sentries. Block some camps. Still looking for the flank onto that top jungle. They might be able to find Xavius, but that is just a support tiny here. Does have his 4 staff in the courier, turns it back at the right moment. So, a little bit of a movement does not pan out at all for T1 as they're forced to show mid. That mid tier 1 for Polaris still stands. They've not been able to make inways in this game in terms of objectives, and now Polaris is well smoking up. Could find a good flank into the rear all across the map though. So a little bit of a walk for them. But they have a general idea as to where T1's at, because they weren't in the triangle, they weren't in that bot jungle. She might catch out some stragglers. So Lush
And just
ags up.
interesting item, by the way, on the Chaos Knight. He's got the Mage Slayer, so a lot of the magic damage reduced by T1. They already have BKBs on Polaris, so this Puck, it's gonna have problems dealing the damage. Like, he's going for Kai, he's doubling down on more magic damage, but I don't know if it's gonna be enough. Polaris, are they gonna find him? Can they get the backstab going?
No. They catch out Xavius, that gives him the info. Instantly blowing up Xavius. But Natsumi's still in the area. Aegis only a minute left. Bit of a dicey timing for Polaris as they won't engage further. T1 as well, just go for that tier 1 down mid. They finally get some much needed control on the map at least, cutting off a little bit more of that access in the jungle. Do you feel like Polaris has done enough of this, Aegis? Like, only half a minute left here.
I think so. I mean, they were able to get the outpost bottom. They only lost Xavius a couple of times. Like, it's not the biggest deal,
Getting twacked away. He's still slippery on the Morbling.
Blink in 2 seconds. Natsumi's, you gonna go for it?
Holds off. So, still not quite can jump out. And then, again, Lelouch with the Axe. We haven't quite seen him use it in the middle of these fights yet. Invis grabbed up. Silence was there to cut off any counterplay from Lelouch. So, just slipping away. 2k lead still stands for Polaris. At what point would you say the Morphling becomes to start that Morbling, where it's just really hard to deal with?
I don't think there's any real point. Like I said, I don't think this hero is in a good spot right now. I don't think that he'll ever outscale the Chaos Knight any significant way, so there's no point where you look at Gab and you're like, yep, he can definitely 1 versus 5 this game, It's going to have to come down to him and the support staff. Maybe you can do something with Carl, with the Dream Coil, like level 25, where you pierce immunity. That's something like that. It's not going to come from Gabby himself, like only Gabby, basically. Kuku is getting close to that refresher orb. Not, I don't want to say close. He's still about like 1,500 gold away from it, but that could help. Bottom lane, though, they're not waiting on Polaris.
Yeah, getting a bit of shove into that tier 3. Phantasm is already down, but not the longest cooldown in the world. Aegis has expired. So, protecting Natsumi in the backside. Silence is enough to shove him away. And Polaris don't fully commit. Instead, Garn trying to TP out. Lelouch might look for a kill onto Whitemon. 1 step out, another step out. Remnant lands, and that's going to be a kill on the Viper once more. For strike out, at the least. So you can tickle Lelouch before dying, but it's a freebie for Lelouch once more.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. Like, you can't really say anything about the Viper anymore. It's just like, well, he died. But what he's doing is he's going out. He's sort of forcing them to try to kill him. He's pushing out the lanes. It's really the best use of his hero right now. As for Polaris, they were down to 2k lead. Now they're still back up 4. And we talked about the AI overlords. Maybe they were right. We were like, no way, it's T1. Yeah, they had the gold advantage, 3K gold advantage, and still favored Polaris by 60%. And now, oh, AU though might lose his life here. Throws a golem.
Drop the golem first, but is going to be taken out for this. Drops a Shadow Word as well. Maybe just looking to chip away. His team is nearby, but the scan is out from T1, so they're going to be able to back off. Although Lelouch finds Whitemon, H Remnant out, does clip with a Force Staff, and he's just instantly gone. Gabby coming in with Void Spirit form. Not going to commit. So support for support. They did force out Golem. That's it's like a pretty good trade for T1 in the end.
Yeah, I think they'll be happy with that because now they can feel a little bit more confident. And the person they're killing, the Warlock, he's doing a lot. You know, the Shadow Word spam as well as the Golem, a BKB piercing ability. So killing him is a big deal, especially getting the Golem out of it. Well, I mean, not killing, but getting the Golem is a bigger deal than killing him. But losing Whitemon, you don't care. Like, he's 0-9. And if he goes 0-15, it won't matter.
Yeah, could be lined up for a Milk Award as Legends go, you know. Try to hit 0-15. No kills, all the deaths, a few assists, and still win the match. Let's see if that is something T1 can pull off. Polaris, I mean, they still maintain 4K, but it's not like it's been building up too much. T1's been able to at least keep that same growth within them as well in terms of net worth. So Gabby's not lagging too far behind. Carl's also up there on the puck. BKB up and running. Fresh 9-second charge. And into the Kai Sanj. So the stat resist is going to be big. I do get a little bit worried for Polaris, right? Like, puck towards late game is actually a menace. Level 20 talent up into 25 piercing spell immunity. That fixes a lot of T1's issues.
And he's also got the ceremonial robe, so that's an extra reduction of 10% for them. His magic resistance as well as stats resistance with the Kaya. So he is doing a significant amount of magic damage, even against all these, you know, Glimmer, Capes, and BKBs, and as well as Natsumi's, what's it called, sorry, Mage Slayer. So Carl's still a threat. Roshan's up at 40 seconds. I don't think Polaris will push the issue until they have the second Aegis. You know, they're like, let's get second Aegis, secure the game. You win this, you're in the lower bracket finals. You lose this, you have no chance of going to Ginting. So this is a big match for both teams.
Yeah, they've got to find a way to carry through both sides. Last game for the lower bracket series here. Refresh already up on Cuckoo, so you know, the Razor does hit its stride, still not too durable. You don't have anything like a casual plate mail to sustain through the damage of Natsumi. Polaris are just camping around Roche, waiting for the respawn. They know the timer, only a few seconds away. T1 should be able to get a read. They are grouped up for the smoke, might be able to get a good scouting out. Natsumi backs off before he sees Roshan back up. So
I don't know if they saw
might
it.
miss out.
Yeah, I don't know. There's no pings or anything. Natsumi might need to walk in again here. Full smoke by T1. Ooh, that could have been a thing. Xavius breaks the smoke.
Very nicely done. T1 forced to go down onto the triangle instead and regroup. Polaris still holding their area in the jungle. Natsumi gonna go check again. He still has that DD. Jumping forward with Raging, not gonna fully commit. And Roche is being started by Natsumi. Still playing tag down mid, but the CK solo with a DD could find that second Roche with the Ag Shard. Could be massive to give away to Natsumi or Lelouch for the mobility. And T1 are in the complete wrong side of the map bottom. When they're down bot, they just snuck away with a smoke.
Yeah, this is going to be an issue for them because this might be the side, the thing that Polaris needs to go high ground, and T1's kind of give it away for free. They misjudge where Xavius is. Xavius kind of freaked them out. Is that? Oh, that's confusing. I was like, this is going to take it. So nice shot for the Chaos Knight as the Aegis in the pocket. It's still not a massive lead for Polaris. Like, you look at the net worth, Carl's right up there, Gabby's right up there as well. Cuckoo's suffering a little bit, but still not the biggest deal. It's really the supports that's actually the only real difference in net worth comes from the support. Through that 5K, 3 of it's from Xavius having an absolutely stellar game. He's got Force Staff, Blink Dagger, and he's going to go for an Aeon Disc in a second as well.
Just going to be able to provide all that utility out for Polaris. Another smoke out from Polaris this time. Looking for the chase. They only really see Whitemon, as you mentioned, not really a priority target 096. They clear out the tier 2 down bot for T1. So Gabby's getting some room to kind of get the damage off. Does have the Scotty up in Morphling. So he's got a good amount of stats, great damage coming through. Can mitigate some of that healing coming out. Carl being sneaky. No ward to watch. You managed to at least stop that. Xavius, again, just playing tag up top as well. Holding back the high ground push that T1's trying to split up. And Polaris, I mean, what is it that we have to see from them? They've got the ages for 3 minutes 40 here. What should they achieve with that?
I mean, Polaris, they want to push. They'd like to go high ground. Well, what happens is what you just saw. You know, Carl pushed bottom lane. Then someone's like, "All right, I gotta defend it." They don't want to take a fight with less people. Like, you can tell when a match has so much online, teams are a little bit more careful. They're not going to go in with only 4 people high ground. They want to wait for everyone. So, Polaris, if they could get a kill on a Carl, that would be the best thing they could get for them to push high ground. Carl has BKB though.
Smoke breaks, instantly stunned up.
Gabby.
Avalanche toss as well. Golem drop as well.
Oh,
Gabby's
no.
just gone. Just instantly taken away. The chain stunts are perfect coming out from Polaris, holding him down long enough. That was a BKB pop from Natsumi. But the tips are out. No buyback on Gabby. This could be their opening for high ground. Xavier's hunting for more, but T1 has managed to retreat fully. Raging is still straggling here. No blink out though. Cuckoo kind of just looking for the split push. They are still hunting, diving into the high ground here. Catching out Carl. Remnant tanked out by Whitebond. Doing his job as a support. BKB a popped open by Carl. Tossed back by Xavius. Onto Raging is going to be a sitting duck. Taken away as they drag Cuckoo back in. Avalanche does not do much with the BKB, but so does the static link. Just doesn't achieve much with the 4 stabs up.
Half duration exorcism though.
Not too much time left in the XO. No creep wave as well. It is coming in now. But the Aegis still stands for 2 minutes. They forced the Fortify out early as well. But they Fortify back to hold on to this creeps. Buyback from Raging. They want to find that opening. Upheaval being channeled by AU in the back line. Dream Coil already. They have the Dispose combo onto Lelouch. They force that him away. Does have the ults to save. Cuckoo with a BKB once more on the refresh. But they still lose Raging. They take out the Aegis on Natsumi. But here comes Lelouch on the re-engage, taking out Cuckoo. No buyback on him as Natsumi jumps forward. Once Carl will find him.
God.
A triple kill on Godlike for Natsumi. Onto the racks they go. And it's Gabby against the world. No buybacks left for T1. They could try to rush for the tier 4s. They've got the damage and they will do so. Polaris sensing that opening. And Gabby, I mean, he's got all the farm in the world. Sure, not as much as Natsumi, but he hasn't been a factor. He's been caught off guard way too much.
Yeah, he's literally 1, 3, and 0. It's very unfortunate.
Oh,
He's gonna
comes
go
in
for
with
it.
BKB trying to make a last
Can he
stand
do
here.
it?
Might find Natsumi. The toss away in the Glimmer Cape. Saves Natsumi. The BKB as well to dodge the damage. And they're still onto those tier 4s. Natsumi
No
gonna be
BKB on
healed up.
Gabby now.
No BKB on Gabby as well.
He does
And
have
the
a
push
chaos
just keeps going. Buyback on Carl. No Dream Coil yet. Avalanche does not connect. Yules is there to save BKB out on Carl. But there goes Gabby back in without the BKB. Doesn't really find anyone. Does dive. He's gone. The GGT1 out of the running for Genting and Polaris. This lineup that struggled in Div 1, that didn't find a series win, beats out a team that was in the major in Stockholm.
Dude, my God. I mean, look, I thought it was going to be a good defense from them because they were able to sort of hold them back. But then